Strange and unusual paranormal activity, including Bigfoot of the Carolinas, in recent years. We have covered images of Bigfoot and Sasquatch tracks unexplained aerial phenomenon and lost children being rescued by a hairy creature that was able to carry and care for one lost toddler for 3 days in sub-freezing temperatures. I'm going to go over a few of these with you. I am going to run this image through some light filters and enlarge it by 200%. A few days ago, a person sent a very strange game camera image to World Bigfoot Central. He captured this on a stationary camera set up on his deer stand. It's on private property over a mile back in the woods in the Carolinas. Personally, I have over 20 game cameras that I have been using for the last 15 years, and from experience, I have no idea what this is. It appears like it may be a humanoid subject from the waist up. Is it some kind of spiritual entity, extraterrestrial, or something else? Something that is very interesting is the whitish orb sitting in the upper chest, just below the throat of the subject, if you will. It reminds me of a softball-sized orb we captured on camera at a Bigfoot hiding hotspot in the Wasatch Mountains several years ago. You know, I'm not saying that this isn't something natural, but it is definitely weird. Okay, so you saw the stuff before that the camera captured before these orbs that are moving around. Got to see a deer and its eye shine. A deer's eye is about the size of a boulder. You know, when you're a kid and you played marbles and the ones they call boulder. The deer's eyeball, in my opinion, is about the size of one of those boulders. This is like 5 times as big. This has been very captivating all over the news. 3-year-old toddler Casey Hathaway was found alive in Craven County, North Carolina on January 25th, 2019, missing for 3 days in the frigid woods of North Carolina. According to the Craven County Sheriff, Chip Hughes, the boy claimed he spent 2 days hanging out with the bear. The 3 days this boy was missing have been the coldest days in North Carolina since 2012. So cold, lake and pond surfaces have been freezing over. During the worst part of winter and the coldest winter in North Carolina since 2012, shouldn't this bear be hibernating? Some say that it may have been a Bigfoot that cared for this boy and kept him from freezing to death until he could be rescued. Many stories of Bigfoot coming to the aid of missing children. Unexplained aerial phenomenon at Clingman's Dome and Bigfoot on camera. UAP captured on camera at Sasquatch sighting location. Anthony writes RMSO. Hi, my partner took this photo from the Clingman's Dome parking area. Look in the top right corner and zoom in. He took the picture March this year. We hike all over that area all the time. RMSO asks, I enlarged that section of the photo to 400%. What does your friend think it is? Energy? Lightning? Clouds? Or something else? I do know that Clingman's Dome attracts a lot of lightning strikes because of its elevation and geology. Pretty cool whatever it may be. Anthony continues, we think it's a UAP. That's our only guess. There wasn't any lightning happening while we were there. I took the following photo a few seconds before my friend took the first one. I was panned a little to the left. It looks like my photo may have captured whatever that object is coming into the view. Middle far edge of the photo on the right side. What do you think it is? RMSO responds, I enlarged that section of your photo to 400%. Don't know what that is. Don't know what your friend's is. I would have to call it a UAP, unexplained aerial phenomenon, because there is something there and I have no idea what to blame it on. So it's a UAP to me. Clingman's Dome is located in both Sevier County, Tennessee, and Swain County, North Carolina. Both of these counties on both sides of the border have a history of Bigfoot sightings and reports. So this UAP, UFO, or whatever you want to call it, is of particular interest to our team. A purported Sasquatch was filmed at the Clingman's Dome in North Carolina several years ago. In January 2020, a couple reported a huge Bigfoot to the BFRO on the North Carolina side of the border. They saw it near Little Tennessee River and turned around to get a better look. They saw it again, observing them from the side of the road. The husband got out of the car to get a better look and stated it was 8 to 9 feet tall, covered in long black hair, and was massive. His wife yelled at him to get back into the car, then turned her Jeep around and sped off. On the Tennessee side of the border, there were 2 Bigfoot sightings on 2 consecutive nights reported to the BFRO in August of 2008 near Pigeon Forge. One of the sightings reported that the creature came within 5 feet of the witness's car. They described it as around 6 to 7 feet tall, bipedal ape-like. However, most of the features were eerily human, broad, muscular, and covered in thick dark brown hair. I hope you guys enjoyed a look at this unexplained phenomena over the Clingman's Dome. This area, Smoky Mountains, is just surrounded in a history of Bigfoot sighting reports. North Carolina Bigfoot-like cryptid captured on game cam, purported to be Dogman. North Carolina game camera image, purported Dogman. Could it be Bigfoot, skunk ape, or something entirely different? We ran across this image and tracked down what looks like to be the oldest post by Joey on Reddit. There is a caption stating, "Dogman caught on trail cam in North Carolina last night." The subject appears to be a real animal or creature with muscle definition. I'll enlarge the image 150%, then 200, and finish at 300, where the subject completely fills the frame. Where is its head? It must be looking down. The thighs on this thing look very powerful and thick, and look at the muscles on the back of the upper arm. Thick and powerful looking also. The front legs or arms look extremely long, or perhaps it's holding something out in front of it. Crazy, weird, and strange. I don't think this is a bear because of what looks like a reversed hinge joint, often seen in other animals like wolves, coyotes, and deer. Because it's leaning forward with its head completely down, as if it's looking at the ground, perhaps this creature is up on its toes, and what looks like a reverse hinge joint is actually the heel of a large foot, and it's utilizing a mid-tarsal break. All kinds of speculation and more questions than answers. We will report back on this if or when we find any answers that we have to what may have been captured on game camera in North Carolina. Bringing you Sasquatch evidence and encounters from the state of North Carolina. Growling Bigfoot harasses renters at cabin near Cherokee, North Carolina. John M.B. writes RMSO. We had an encounter in Whittier, North Carolina in 2021. I had a cabin rental. That Friday, we came in late from sightseeing in the area around Cherokee. While she fixed us a late-night snack, something made noise on the porch. I went into the kitchen to look out the window and saw nothing. We thought it may have been a deer or a raccoon, but then it knocked something over, and we heard a growl. We went into the living room, and I went over by the couch where my pistol and phone was on the lamp table. It stopped in front of the window. There was a nightlight on the pole outside, and it lit up the porch enough for us to see a dark, tall creature on the porch. It fit the image of Bigfoot. Big, broad shoulders, black hair, ape-like features. My first thought was to pick up the phone to get a picture, but then I thought the better of it and grabbed my pistol. It grunted one more time and went on up the mountain. She and I were very scared, and we cut all the lights and put the chairs against the doors. We were awake all night and left at daylight. I looked around on the porch. A huge flower pot was knocked over. I didn't see any footprints on or near the porch, but many leaves had fallen during the night. I never want to see one that close again. It was within 3 feet of the window. I am 6 feet tall, and it was at least 8 feet tall. Very scary experience. Cody D writes RMSO. Don't know what's scarier, Bigfoot or some huge guy out there hunting pigs, barefooted. Boaters find Bigfoot tracks on Yadkin River near Gameland south of Mocksville, North Carolina. Cody writes and says, randomly ran across one of your blog articles and it reminded me of my strange encounter. Cody's talking about a 22-month-old toddler that was missing for 3 days and 3 nights. It was all over the news. During the last week of January in 2019, Casey Hathaway was found alive and in good health after 3 days missing in sub-freezing temperatures, some of the coldest nights in North Carolina since 2012. Craven County Sheriff Chip Hughes said, according to Casey, he spent 2 days hanging out with the bear. Many people, including me, think North Carolina Sasquatch cared for this lost boy until searchers came along to rescue him. Cody D continues, a few years back in the foothills of North Carolina, we ran across some tracks. It was 50 degrees that morning, and these were found on a small bank on the river that was miles from the nearest boat ramp, also miles from the nearest homes. There was also a smaller set of tracks that seemed to be on its tiptoes. Both tracks led into the water. There were no signs of a boat that had pulled up on the bank, and it was pouring rain about a day before. My buddy said, I don't know what's scarier, Bigfoot or some huge guy out here hunting pigs barefooted. It's worth noting, I'm 6'2", 240 pounds with a size 12 boot. I took my boot off and pressed hard into the sand, and you can see whatever it was much bigger and heavier than me. Crazy. Also, have heard wood on wood knocks and lots of random trees falling while we were hunting over the years. Weird stuff. I can assure you, though, this is not something we did as a joke or a prank. We were taking some hunting gear down to the river to be picked up by a boat, as opposed to walking it out, and that's how we stumbled across them. Strange stuff. RMSO responds, do you happen to have any more photos? I see a partial track ahead of the one you were documenting. Even if they aren't as nice, it would be good to see more than one of the trackway. What part of North Carolina, and what was the name of the river? Cody continues, I can check but don't believe so. I pulled those pictures from my Instagram post like 4 or 5 years ago when it happened. The only tracks we saw headed right into the water. I only posted that one track because it was the most definitive as far as outline. The foothills and the Yadkin River out near the game land south of Mocksville. They say Black Panthers don't exist in North Carolina either, but I saw one of them with my own eyes about 10 years ago while leaving hunting in the evening on the side of the road. What I don't get with the whole Bigfoot thing, though, is how no one can see them to get them on trail camera. But the footprints we saw just don't make sense for someone to be out there on a cold morning barefoot and being that large. Could happen, I guess. Just not normal at all. RMSO continues, the creature has been captured on game camera several times. Less often than the rare handheld camera video or photo, many researchers, including our team, believe the reason is the creature can see the infrared trigger beam and then avoids the areas they are in. Cody responds, well, I imagine if they can smell and are almost as smart as us, they can hear and smell and see us coming and know if we have set one up. Trust me, I was a non-believer, but ever since I saw that track, it's made me question things, especially the sounds I've heard out there. RMSO continues, using trail cameras for over 12 years, they give off a lot of scent themselves. You can smell the plastic, electronics, and batteries especially when they are new. And the Sasquatch more than likely have a nose as good as a bear or a bloodhound, and so they may avoid them from the smell alone. Cody responds, that doesn't surprise me one bit, and kind of what I've thought. I know if I'm 240 pounds, whatever it was is a lot damn bigger than me based on how deep that print was compared to mine. Definitely wouldn't want to cross paths with one without my gun. It also seemed like they were running from us because the tracks was fresh, like we pushed them across the river. In all the places I've hunted, I've never heard the wood on wood knock though. Almost like they were trying to scare us off or something.